Hi, Rigo Murillo. In the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about 4 principles that are going to help impact your sales conversations. These are things that can be done right away, and they will immediately and effectively help these conversations. The 4 principles I'm talking about are coming out of Jeb Blunt's book, Sales EQ. If you haven't read it before, I'd highly advise you take a look. I'm going to give you my take on it. My hope is that you get something out of it. Grab your pen, a notebook, and get ready to write this down. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to share something with you. This is something that I've always remembered growing up, something that's been in the back of my mind, and I just kind of want to throw this out there. So in the Judeo-Christian Bible, King Solomon talks about something in Ecclesiastes, and he says this. He says, "What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun." Now, if you get to know me, or if you've already known me, you've probably heard me say that a lot. It basically reminds me that all of us are affected by so much, our upbringings, our surroundings, watching movies, listening to music, spending time in a room with somebody. The reason why I bring this up is because in a leadership role or sales, if you're building your own business, I hope that you're taking the opportunity to learn from others. Reading books, by far, is the number one way that you're going to start putting stuff in your head. And I say that because I like to bring information that is impacting me and how I approach business. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm bringing this information to you. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. And so let's go ahead and get started. All right. So principle number 1, people respond in kind. This reminds me of a commercial. It was back in 2015 when I went and looked it up. It's the Coca-Cola commercial where a man is getting onto a subway train. He's got some earbuds in. He's got an iPad. He's watching something, and he walks into the train, and there's 40, 50 people inside of the subway train. He's watching something on the video. He starts laughing, and little by little, more emotions coming out. And you can tell that these people don't know they're being filmed, and the camera's panning around. And as he gets louder with his laughter and it becomes more authentic, well, the people in the room can't help it. They're now starting to laugh. They're smiling. Nothing is better, more powerful to impact the person on the other side than a smile. Simple. Here's the deal. If you don't believe it, try it. Principle number 2, people communicate in stories. Most salespeople are not attentively listening. See, what's happening is they're getting ready to tell their story. And unfortunately, sometimes even without noticing, they're usually trying to one up the other story. But what's going to happen is you're going to interrupt the process of your stakeholder sharing some vital information that you probably are waiting to hear. Take a moment, breathe back, write it down. But you know what? Let them speak. Learn to listen. We will start to hear as they speak to us what are the things they like and they dislike. Buried deep inside of these stories are the clues and emotions that will tell you what the real problem is. Number 3 principle, and also very important, is that questions control the conversation. Remember that the person who is asking all the questions, they have the power in that conversation. When you learn how to ask more questions, do more listening, and write things down, you are now giving the opportunity for your stakeholder to do what? To tell you stories. This allows you to keep everything steering in the right way and allowing the stakeholder to realize that their time is valuable and you appreciate what they have to say without insulting them, but keeping it on point so that you can be done within the time you said it would be done. Here's the reality, guys. A lot of times you say, hey, listen, I want 20 minutes of your time. It gets into a story. Even though the stakeholder was doing most of the talking, they're going to remember that when they get on the phone with you, well, it takes 45 minutes for a 20-minute call. Keep things on point. Use questions to steer and guide the conversation. Ask, shut up, listen. Okay, principle number 4, listening builds deep emotional connections. We live in a time now where the amount of conversation happens in this right here, okay? And so what that means is simply this. As you're sitting down and you're having a conversation, connect. There's a reason why we have a very plain background. We're not trying to draw your attention away from the conversation. You need to be aware of that as well as we sit into a virtual setting. Keeping your eyes here, and we can tell that you're texting or doing something else. What other way can you insult the stakeholder on the other end and tell them your time is not valuable? I'm only asking you the questions because I think I have to, but I'm really not listening to you. It is absolutely important that you communicate with the stakeholder on the other side. This allows the stakeholder to start to speak, to tell you the story, to give you the opportunity to find the value and need within their conversation without doing anything other than asking, guiding, and listening. The defensive walls start to come down and they start to form a trust with you. Last but not least, one little bonus in that fourth piece: don't allow yourself to get lost in the need to have to respond. Whatever you do, don't get yourself caught up to where you stop the process of active listening. Okay, so let's recap. People respond in kind. Basically, smile. Bring a good positive energy to the conversation. Watch what starts to happen on the other side. 2, people, well, they communicate in stories. Let them talk. These stories will give you insight on the needs and the pains that your stakeholder is going through. Number 3, questions control conversation flow. And number 4, listening builds deep emotional connections. Basically, shut up and listen. When you're doing all the talking, you're selling. When they're doing the talking, they're buying. Hey, listen, if you like the information that I dropped here, do me a favor, text me and let me know. 316-799-8052. We're doing something great with community, and I'm actually enjoying the ability that we now have to share information, worksheets, other sales videos, training elements like this that'll help you grow in your business. Again, if you like it, text me at 316-799-8052. I'm going to do this and I'm going to have my team put it up right here. Let me know your thoughts. Drop something in the comment, like, subscribe. Again, my name is Rigo Murillo. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you again at another time. As always, make tomorrow better than today. Have a great week. I can't wait to talk to you. Take care.